Alrighty. What's up, everybody? How's it going? For those of you who do not know, when it comes to 14, I started at the beginning of Shadowbringers. I can't remember exactly when. There was a point where I briefly played in August of 2019, which I think was like just before Shadowbringers came out. I started playing in Shadowbringers mostly. I got like 2 Shadowbringers around the time that 5.1 came out. That's really all I know about Final Fantasy XIV. Everything that is the current gameplay, the abilities, the traits, the role abilities, the mechanics, all the stuff that's currently in the game is all that I really know. There's been many times where I would talk to people like Suda or Humbles, people that have played the game since A Realm Reborn, and maybe even before that, 1.0 in some cases as well. They would tell me about this stuff that is in the game back then. It straight up feels like they're trolling. Like, I cannot believe them. It doesn't make any sense. So I made a tweet basically talking about that. As someone who started Final Fantasy XIV and Shadowbringers, my friends will tell me about things from past expansions like cross-class abilities, Caster Bard, Goad, and many other things. I swear it feels like they're just trolling me. I made this tweet. There's been a lot of replies just talking about stuff, and I thought, let's go through it. Let's talk about it. Experience the past that I am unaware of. I was going through some of these earlier, and I thought they were like absolutely ridiculous. They're hilarious. Like, did you know Summoner used to have 6 dots, dude? 6. What? I can barely manage 1 dot. I can't imagine trying to manage 6. That's nuts, dude. I'm someone who started during the early access for A Realm Reborn. See, look, we got hella boomers in here, dude. Dragoon used to have a damage buff that was a positional. Dude, Dragoon used to have back for blood too, which was a damage. It's basically lance charge, but you would take more damage. Scholar could have 6 dots since they had White Mage Arrow too. Oh my god. See, this is what I'm talking about, dude. This is what I'm talking about. But yeah, this tweet kind of popped off. I thought it was something kind of funny, but it's been super cool just to see all these replies from people. And me, Suda, Humbles, and like Faded, we would like sit and talk about this stuff all the time. And it's just, I felt like a little kid crowded by the fireplace with grandpa telling old war stories, dude. And that's what it feels like whenever people talk about A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward and stuff like that. It's awesome. It's awesome. I love it. And you know, with Endwalker coming up, everything's gonna change there too. Everything's gonna change, man. So I feel like that's gonna be me towards the end of Endwalker. It's like, oh, did you remember when Samurai had a 15 cost damage ability and a self heal that was practically useless? I miss Red Mage do buff, but no one else does because they all said it was shit. I do miss Arrow 3 on White Mage. It was a dot that was AoE and had a cast time. Oh my god. And it's stacked with Arrow 2. Dude, that's crazy. All right, let's take a look at some of these tweets. Okay, what's this? Retweet to confuse a sprout. Keeper's Hymn. When sung, invokes the Hand of Amlek, turning back time or resetting any previous attribute bonuses. What did this do? Are any boomers in chat able to know? Yeah, you had stats you had to allocate. Oh my god, dude, I forgot about that. You got 30 stat points you can assign to the main stats. Oh my god, I had no idea. And certain races had better stats. Dude, yeah, I heard about that. Like, you'd play like Aura for the strength bonus or some shit like that if you wanted to play like a DPS or a tank or whatever, and then like other races had. I mean, I think that they still do. Races still have stat bonuses, right? Don't they? Or did they remove them? Because I thought that they did. They still technically have them, but they're so irrelevant. Yeah, they're so irrelevant at this point. Doesn't it say what they have? Oh yeah, see? So you see, you have 23 strength, 17 dex. Yeah, Zayla has 23 strength, 22 vit. Yeah, so like you'd play the if you want to play a tank, you would typically pick like Zayla or something like that because it has higher strength and higher vit or whatever, something like that. Cross-class abilities were a thing. Cross-class ability allowed Dragoon to tank for those precious 15 seconds necessary for a healer to revive a tank. And tank busters weren't as lethal back then. I've heard a lot about cross-class abilities. I was looking at this earlier because I wasn't sure. If you wanted to get Provoke, right? You had to level Paladin, and to get all the necessary cross-class abilities for Paladin, you had to also get level 30 something Marauder, level 30 something Conjurer, and Gladiator. Paladin to level 27, I think, would unlock you Provoke. So if you wanted to get if you wanted to have Provoke on your tank, you had to level Paladin. And like you say, Reprisal was cross-class from Dark Knight, so you had to level Dark Knight if you wanted to use Reprisal, which is, looking back on it, that sounds like the dumbest shit ever. That sounds so weird, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It sounds so strange to me. Yeah, there's a couple other things. Like, you could have, what was it? If you wanted to have Swift Cast for White Mage or whatever, you also had to level Thaumaturge. So if you wanted to Swift Cast Raise, you couldn't unless you also leveled Thaumaturge. It's crazy. 36 War for Foresight, Bloodbath, and Mercy Struck. I think 40 White Mage for Stone Skin and Protect if you wanted to play Paladin. Isn't that nuts, dude? That's crazy. So many different, like, I mean, it's kind of like, when you think about it, it's kind of interesting. Your classes get a little bit more dynamic like that. You know what I mean? You can take certain things on certain classes that other people don't have to take those things. They could take other things instead. And it's kind of like this mix and match kind of thing. It's interesting, but in the end, it's honestly better that it's not in the game. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, they even mentioned that for classes with pets like Summoner and Scholar, your pet could die and you would have to revive it. Is that real? Like, if Eos died, you'd have to res Eos? Pets had HP. Titan Eggy could tank for summoners. Oh, I heard about that. People would bring Titan Eggy just so that they could tank. Like, there was certain fights that they would just bring Titan anyway because it was easier. It made it like it was like a cheese almost, or some shit like that. I guess this is their way to kind of enforce class switching as being a thing in the game, that people just do them. Yeah. Now, like, you could literally just level Bard or whatever and only play Bard, and you wouldn't have to worry about anything. But I guess before, and then you actually had a reason to, like, level all the other classes if you wanted to. So you were, like, essentially forced to level other stuff and not just be a one trick. My favorite I've experienced was MP that was dependent on your level and gear. I had 17k MP at the end of Stormblood. Favorite thing was about White Mage or healers in general. I don't remember using to have Cleric stance. Not Stormblood Cleric stance, aka more attack power but less healing power. I think Larry's video talked about Cleric stance a bit. Like, you can toggle Cleric stance and you would do less healing and you would do more damage. You would, like, tell the other healer, like, you're going into Cleric stance, and then just have them do all the healing while you do damage for a while. It's actually kind of crazy. Look at that, you had TP. I've heard stuff about TP. I don't know anything about it really, other than the fact that it's like melee mana or whatever. I also heard that if you use sprint, it uses 100% of your TP. You would be useless, essentially. And then that's where Goad comes in too, right? Isn't Goad like give you like a TP regen or some shit like that? It's just like give someone TP. Goad gave you gave to tanks because they use TP a lot. Okay. All your weapon skills costed TP. As of Shadowbringers, it was removed. Thank God. I love melee as it is now, dude. Melee is my main class, if you guys don't know. It's the only thing I really play. That and tank. I play melee DPS. So if I had to use TP, I'd probably play something else. It was so micromanagement with TP and Stormblood. I hated it. I heard a lot of people didn't like it. My most vivid memory, aside from Dragoon pole dancing, was when you died in instances, you'd be kicked outside dead. You either have to wait for a res or HP and run all the way back. Also, helper NPCs that cure or tank DPS for you in tight instances did not exist. Oh yeah, dude, you know, all those job quests that you do where you have to do duties, and whenever you end up getting close to dying on them, the NPCs just suddenly heal you or whatever. I guess that didn't happen, huh? That's kind of crazy. What I remember is Sprint used to use all of your TP and you'd go faster depending on how much TP you used. Are you serious? Really? So if you you would go faster? Dude, that's nuts. That's nuts. What the hell? Okay, here we go right here. Have they told you about TP? It was mana for melees. Imagine if in Dark Souls when you ran into stamina, it just didn't regenerate. Paladins to take a breather between big pulls to catch their breath like an old man in an iron lung. That wasn't how Sprint was. Sprint consumed all of your TP and granted you 1 second of sprint buff per 50 TP. So one full 1000 TP gave you 20 seconds. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. You have to manually spread out your stats when you leveled up. Bards and Machinists were RNG if you hit. What? Sprinting was tied to your TP. Elemental damage and resistance was a thing. Oh, and tanks used to have a much harder time holding aggro and did 30% less damage in tank stance. Dude, this all just sounds so tedious and annoying to manage. Shadowbringers may be easier to play these classes and stuff, but this just sounds annoying. You know what I mean? Sounds like an elaborate shitpost hearing it now after playing for about 4 years. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. It's just like everything that these people are saying, it just sounds like it's bullshit. Imagine tank swapping without Shirk. Oh my god, I can't, dude. That sucks. What the fuck? Really? Oh my god. My favorite was if you switch your class in the middle of a field, you had to wait about 30 seconds or more to use any of your abilities. Wait, what? This used to give me so much anxiety when I queued for a dungeon. What do they mean by that? If you were outside of a sanctuary and you swap class, it put every skill on a 60-second cooldown. What? Oh, so then I guess if you go and you queue for a dungeon and you have to switch back to your class or something, and then you have a 60-second cooldown when you get in the dungeon, you just gotta be like, all right guys, sorry, we gotta wait 60 seconds. I don't have any of my fucking abilities right now. So you're just sitting there kind of just like chilling. You're like, all right, what's up guys? Everyone's just like, just want to get the fuck out of this dungeon, dude. What the fuck? Has anyone told you about Protect? What about Protect? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the specifics about what, I know about Protect. I don't know what it does though, to be honest. Other than maybe it just puts a shield on you or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea. It was a skill you put on the start of every dungeon that lasted for 30 minutes, and if you died, it reset. I could see why they removed that one. Have they told you about glamour prisms? Back then, they were split by crafting class that you had to match. Alchemy prisms, smithing prism. You know, I heard about that. And by heard about that, I mean that like I went to the Calamity Salvager. Like if you go to the Calamity Salvager, you can like still technically like trade them in. And I like would see those. How does that even work? Grade 1 woodworking prism for glamour. So certain pieces of gear, in order to glamour them, you had to use certain glamour prisms for them. Is that how that worked? Level 50 bard boots, grade 5 leather worker prism. Are you serious? Whose fucking idea was that, dude? They're looking like, all right, we're gonna make glamour difficult. What the fuck, dude? That doesn't make any sense, dude. It doesn't make any, like that. That's a shit post right there, man. Inventory nightmare, dude. Dude, I can imagine you got like 1 to 5 on each class for every single job, so that any item that you got that you want to glam, you got like 8 different jobs and then 5 different grades of glamour prism. So that's like 40 different glamour prisms. Oh my god. 1.0 was, oh god, here we go. 1.0. We could equip 2 earrings, 2 bracelets, and 4 rings. Underwear was separate, and it was unrepairable for some time, so your broken equipment icon would never go away. Underwear? Dude, there was a tidy whitey slot in 1.0? Are you for real? Oh my god, I can't believe this. Class levels and physical levels were a separate thing, and auto attack didn't exist. Oh my god, dude, look at that. Dude, 4 ring slots, dude. I can't imagine. 2 bracelets. I mean, it makes sense, but like, dude, everybody out here looking like Yoshida, man. Everyone out here looking like Yoshida. You got fucking the drip, the fucking blinged out hands, dude. That's tight as hell. Dude, you know what? I do kind of wish, you know, don't have more than 2 ring slots, but what if you had glamour slots for the other ring slots, dude? That would be cool. You know, so you could have more than 2 rings on your hand. Dude, that'd be kind of dope, wouldn't it? Oh, I also still think that it would be awesome if you were able to have like dye accents or something like that. So like 2 different kinds of dye on gear, depending on the spots that you want to dye gear. When I first heard the name Robon Savage, I thought it was a fight. So I asked my friends, how do I unlock Robon Savage? What does that mean? I've heard people talk about Robon Savage, but I don't know what that is. It was laggy servers. Oh, okay, I see. How do I unlock Robon Savage? Oh, that's funny, man. That's so fun. Dude, is that gonna be us in a few weeks? Dude, that's actually gonna be us in a few weeks, huh? All of these like things, right? They sound like they make the game a lot more diverse and interesting. You look at it compared to now, like a lot of people complain about how boring a lot of the jobs are in Shadowbringers, or like how simple a lot of the jobs are in Shadowbringers in comparison. But some of this shit is just unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that just looking back seem so stupid.